Learned a grand jury will hear testimony on Monday as part of an ongoing investigation into Tiffany Henyard's leadership in the South Suburbs.
The FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been following allegations of her misspending and joins us now with an update. Dane.
Yeah, we've been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor.
The FBI also demanding records from the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation after we reported at least $10,000 in taxpayer money went to it.
At this point, most of us have already become well acquainted with the unfolding scandal surrounding Dalton, Illinois, Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Recent developments have shocked netizens and Dalton trustees alike, and the FBI has finally launched an investigation into all the misconduct allegations against the mayor. The evidence is mounting, and it's disturbing. Let's break down everything you need to know. The first major development came when FBI agents were spotted interviewing certain people in Delaune. They refused to comment on the nature of their investigation, but one can assume it would be the numerous allegations against Tiffany Henyard. Reports have been circulating for a while now that the so-called super mayor had been using her political power for personal gain, and things only got worse.
Federal agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges.
Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about
very serious
concerns?
Very serious. Very.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents, and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official.
Many business owners from Dalton have come forward revealing that they were denied business licenses simply because they refused to contribute to Henyard's election campaign. Imagine that, your ability to run a business being tied to political donations. These kinds of allegations paint a picture of the corruption that has taken hold ever since Henyard came to power.
The FBI has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dalton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my association affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political.
Many business owners from Dalton have come forward revealing that they were denied business licenses simply because they refused to contribute to Henyard's election campaign. Imagine that your ability to run a business is being tied to political donations. These kinds of allegations paint a picture of the corruption that has taken hold ever since Henyard came to power.
Dalton trustee Jason House reacted to the news of the FBI's involvement. We welcome any investigation that will bring transparency on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. Our residents deserve this level of financial transparency. We reached out to the FBI, which said it is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the Village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement.
Public office is about serving the people, not using them to fill your own pockets. Naturally, most residents of Dalton welcome the FBI investigation. For them, the FBI's involvement here is necessary to clean up this mess and finally have some transparency regarding how their taxes are being spent.
With this copy of the latest court order, it asked for a variety of financial reports like budgets, accounting records, and receipts for Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Administrator Keith Freeman, and Trustee Andrew Holmes, as well as several other companies and individuals. Plus, any records related to Henyard's charitable organizations. The subpoena also requests all travel records paid for by the municipality, including a trip taken to Las Vegas in May of last year. On that trip, both the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. They've both filed a civil lawsuit accusing Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. Regarding the lawsuit, the mayor and Holmes both declined to comment. The first two grand jury subpoenas were served April 10th, asking for personnel and disciplinary files for nearly 30 people. The subpoenas also ask for documents related to Keith Freeman, the village administrator recently indicted on charges of bankruptcy.
Tiffany has left the town's finances in such dire conditions that the Village of Dalton is unable to pay its dues anymore. This has resulted in the devastating turn of events in which the law firm representing them in over a dozen lawsuits stepped down due to non-payment of fees.
2 days ago, the law firm representing the village in at least 19 lawsuits in Cook County and federal court said it's planning to withdraw from the cases May 8th due to lack of payment. NBC5 has obtained a copy of the letter sent to the village by the Delgado law firm of Berwyn.
A few days ago, the law firm representing the village in at least 19 lawsuits in Cook County and federal court said it's planning to withdraw from the cases. Maybe due to lack of payment, NBC5 has obtained a copy of the letter sent to the village by the Delgado law firm of Berwyn. As if this gross mismanagement wasn't enough, just recently, Henyard vetoed a proposal to investigate herself. Yes, you heard that right. She had the opportunity to allow a transparent investigation into her own conduct, but decided to shut it down. This only raises more questions about what she's trying to hide.
Dalton's controversial mayor, Tiffany Henyard, is resisting calls to look into her spending. At a village board meeting Monday night, the Dalton mayor vetoed a resolution passed by the board to investigate her spending. Last month, the board passed a resolution that required Henyard to turn in the village's financial records and called for an investigation by the FBI. Now, several Fox 32 reports have uncovered multiple allegations of corruption in her capacity as mayor and as Thornton Township supervisor. The mayor took issue with what she called attacks on her.
As you can see, our village, our community, myself, we are under attack. It's a shame that people can come to meetings and just tell one-sided stories and not get the entire side of both stories.
The Daily Southtown reports the trustees can vote to override the mayor's veto next month, and we have confirmed the FBI is questioning people as part of an ongoing investigation.
FBI agents showed up near Dalton Village Hall to carry out an investigation. While they were tight-lipped about the nature of their investigation, it doesn't take a genius to figure out it's got something to do with Tiffany.
Tell you about what we know, and that is that a handful of FBI agents showed up to this area earlier today. What is not clear is exactly why. Now, here's another statement in part that we got from the FBI saying that the FBI was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in that area today. Department of Justice policy prevents the FBI from commenting on the nature of any investigation that may be occurring. Now, we know Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been the focus of NBC5 investigations for weeks, and that several high-level officials do face law.
Tiffany isn't the only one under scrutiny with the FBI. Keith Freeman, her former right-hand man, has also been charged by the FBI in connection with separate allegations. Freeman's indictment raises even more questions about the circle of influence surrounding Henyard and her administration. Vegas last May, as tensions rise, we've seen Henyard become increasingly defensive. During a recent Thornton Township meeting, a citizen directly accused her of corruption. Instead of addressing the concerns, Henyard tried to have the individual removed from the meeting, sparking even more outrage among the attendees.
And we have some new developments on a suburban government that's mired in accusations of scandal. The mayor of Dalton is already under investigation, and there are allegations of misconduct surrounding an official trip to Las Vegas. Well, now a top administrator is facing fraud charges. Regina Waldrop explains.
Trustee Andrew Holmes?
No.
Several high-level officials in South suburban Dalton facing a rush of lawsuits and investigations. Federal prosecutors accuse Keith Freeman of making false statements in his bankruptcy petition. Freeman currently serves as village administrator and as municipality manager of Thornton Township.
There has been several times that we have gone back and forth and we have talked about being able to get past all of this.
The indictment alleges that Freeman made several false statements and omissions in the bankruptcy petition filed in January. It says he knowingly underreported income he derived from his employment, as well as fees he received from his private consulting business. Freeman has not been arraigned, and the village declined to comment. This latest legal issue comes days after a civil lawsuit was filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and trustee Andrew Holmes, who is a well-known community activist. It was filed by the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. The lawsuit accuses Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. The incidents allegedly occurred during and after an economic development trip to Las Vegas.
Her attempts to silence critics haven't stopped there. The village's firefighters have stepped up, revealing that Tiffany embezzled money from the firefighters' retirement fund. In fact, one of the firefighters said that many of them have not been able to speak out due to fear of retaliation, a valid fear with someone as egotistical as Tiffany. Her actions are an unforgivable breach of trust, impacting the very people who risk their lives for the safety of the community. Despite what she did, the firefighters still continue to carry out their duties and keep the residents of Dalton safe.
Tiffany Henyard, who faces multiple lawsuits and a federal investigation in her dual role as Dalton mayor. Scores of residents here outraged by the allegations.
And you're trying to steal from everybody in here. Everybody. We're not going to let you keep stealing our money.
Investigators said to be focusing on everything from contracts to cronyism. Henyard and her allies have spent more than $100,000 on questionable and extravagant travel, much of it uncovered by WGN Investigates.
Now you will hear the truth as relates to the budget from myself and my administration. Now you have to listen in order to learn. Remove her. Remove her.
Henyard, in a tense moment at one point, ordering the removal of a resident for allegedly disrupting the meeting. The confrontation diffused by police with their refusal to eject based on First Amendment rights. Lost in all the conflict was time to be able to go over the proposed 2020.
These serious allegations, Tiffany doesn't seem too bothered amidst the FBI's investigation. She was seen throwing a party, celebrating with supporters as if nothing was wrong. The trustees refused to pay for the party because it was named after her, but that didn't stop her. She claimed that the money came out of her own pocket. Where she got that money from, we have no idea. Her actions have left many wondering how someone under such heavy scrutiny could so blatantly disregard the gravity of the situation.
WGN Investigates reporting on Henyard's travel pay and perks.
WGN's Julian Cruz was at that meeting. He's live now in South Holland with more. Julian?
Well, Ben and Micah, that emotional public hearing finally drawing to a close just a short while ago with unfinished business. The Thornton Township Board of Trustees failing to fully pass their 2025 budget. There are 17 South suburban communities that make up the Thornton Township, and residents making it crystal clear that they're deeply dissatisfied with the Thornton Township supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, who of course is under the cloud of a federal corruption investigation.
We need transparency. We need transparency.
You have increased everything across the board. It's like you were trying to drain the money.
Frustrated South suburban residents sharing their concerns at today's Thornton Township budget hearing.
Y'all need to be in jail because this is ridiculous.
Wholesaler in another controversial act, Henyard has been accused of using taxpayer-funded resources for political self-promotion at a food distribution event. She plastered her campaign branding all over the goods being handed out, essentially turning a charity event into a political campaign rally. Later on, in a video she posted on Facebook, Henyard claimed that God chose her to be mayor, dismissing the growing accusations of corruption.
Hey guys, hey! It's your super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor.
The super mayor took to social media to promote her party. There was a bounce house, skating, and a food giveaway.
But I spend my own money to make sure that I put on for my city. I always put my money where my mouth is.
Henyard said she paid after trustees refused. They're trying to control her spending and were skittish because the event was advertised as the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic. That's also the name of her campaign fund. Her lawyer denies it was a political event, but it's clear the bash was meant to bolster Henyard's image as she faces a federal investigation into her spending in Dalton, where she's the mayor, and Thornton Township, where she's the supervisor.
And for those that don't know, let me make sure I'm crystal clear about this. I ain't never took a damn thing in my life. So I want to make sure y'all hear it out of my mouth.
Let's start with the party's location. It was held at a skating rink Henyard commissioned in Dalton with an initial estimated cost of $269,000. WGN Investigates had to sue Dalton to get Henyard's administration to release credit card records, and we noticed a $17,000 charge to a roller skate wholesaler.
Her words have done little to sway public opinion. For many, her claims of divine intervention feel like a desperate attempt to deflect from the very real allegations she's facing. As the FBI digs deeper, the evidence against Henyard continues to pile up, from forcing business owners to donate to her campaign to the possible misuse of retirement funds and even her efforts to silence dissent at public meetings. It's clear this investigation is far from over, and now that the FBI is fully involved, it seems only a matter of time before the truth comes out. The community of Dalton and those watching from all over the country are waiting for answers and justice. That's it for now. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments below for more updates. Hit the bell icon.
This was in the box. We got greens. We got greens, beans, potatoes, you name it. Look at that.
Henyard frequently promotes the township's food pantry, but she's been accused of distributing the boxes with campaign messages. The Greater Chicago Food Depository performed a spot check Tuesday and reminded the township its food can't be used to promote a politician.
None of that food comes from the Chicago Food Depository, so they called us about your fake complaints the other day. We already got all that straight.
That's Keith Price, who runs the food pantry. He tells WGN Investigates the food boxes came from township surplus.
But y'all missing the biggest point. You got people like myself that care about community that people try to stop. People will always try to stop things they cannot control. That's what it's all about. Someone young, vibrant, energetic like myself, who cannot and will not be bought, is the one that's constantly moving forward.
Henyard has frequently been accused of mixing political and public money. Those newly obtained spending records show Dalton taxpayers footed the bill for more than $8,000 worth of hotel rooms during an event for Henyard's namesake cancer charity last year. The charity has now been shut down by the Illinois Attorney General.
God wanted me to lead the people. God knew that I wouldn't take no mess. He knew that I would stand strong in the fire for you.